One of the things that my clients want to discuss with me a lot is this feeling of confusion. And they don't want to confuse people by doing lots of different things, but they want to do lots of things, or they need to do lots of things. So first and foremost, I want to reassure you that if you are in that boat where you have a portfolio career or a personal brand, there is a way to do it and for it to make sense to you and other people. And actually, it can work to your benefit, which I'll tell you more of in a little bit. But also, there will always be a small proportion of people who will never get it. They'll never get it. And also, they won't even be prepared to get it. They'll have made up their mind like, I'm so confused with what you do. Like, I can't keep up with you. How can you do all these things? Can't you get a real job? Are you, a jack of all trades, master of none? Like all of it. We've heard it all before. So what I would say in that instance is don't spend time in that headspace trying to convince the people who are never going to move out of their comfort zone. Just kind of politely sort of bundle them to the side. So let's focus on the people who would love the fact that you do lots of different things. So I've got two parts to this. In terms of my coaching, I work across many different topics, and I love that myself for variation, and I like to keep things fresh. I've never been one of these people who wants to just do one thing, and within this hour I offer the same service. Like on minute 12 we do this, and then at minute 23 we move into phase 2. I don't like to operate in that way. I much prefer it when it's bespoke and I can bring all these things together. So that really suits my personality, and it keeps me sharp and fresh, and it means that I get to work with a variety of different clients. Also, offering different things means I get to work with the same clients in a different way. So some people might come to me wanting to leave their 9-to-5 job and work on a goal setting strategy. And then 6 months later, they might come back and say, right, I need to work on my money and my packages. And then 3 years later, they might say, do you know what? These things are going really well, but I'd like to become a public speaker. Can you help me with that? So I love being able to operate in that way. And I would like to think, even though I have no architectural expertise, I'm sort of like that project manager that you would like to have on a building project. Somebody who knows lots about, knows little, not little, that's underselling it, but has an idea of how things fit together. So they're not just going in and going, right, okay, I'm an electrician and I'm just here to look at the electrics, I'm going to crack on. There is a sequence to things, and there are different things that they need to consider. So I am that sort of personal brand project manager who can keep an eye out for all the different elements and make sure they all work together. The second example I want to give you is, I remember going for a job as an actor with UNICEF, and they were looking for people to be part of their advertising campaign. I might share it if I can find it. And it was a very specific brief. It was one particular woman, and it was all stages of her life. So I think there were about 6 of us playing the same role. So you had to look a certain way. It had to make sense that these people were the same person, all running through all the story. And I remember going in, and because I'd seen the brief and what they were looking for, I was like, oh, okay, this I might kind of get this for my acting. And then it wasn't what I would have to. Okay, so yeah, keep it, but the story that I missed out. The role was, and it still makes me laugh because I have a C in GCSE science, so science is not my forte. I was there to play an astrophysicist, and there was going to be a clip of me in the advert in this big observatory talking about spacey, sciencey things. And because they needed all those shots of me being in situ and like taking the floor and holding the space, in the audition, they said, could you just do like a mini stand up, or could you just talk to us like on 5 minutes on anything? And I just thought, oh my goodness, the pressure of like making a 5-minute talk funny. And so in the end, I was like, does it matter what I talk about, or do you just need to see that I can eloquently do this? And they said, no, it doesn't matter. So I ended up doing a goal setting workshop, and I was like taking people through the method. And it was quite interesting because the panel were like, okay, this is really interesting. Sure. I ended up getting the job. And then on the day, we went to film in this incredible space. There were about 100 extras, and they were setting up all the cameras. And I had to improvise around this. So I had to, they were like, can you just keep talking? And now you need to bring in a laugh. Now you need to, make it more emotional. And again, I just did a goal setting workshop. And so that was one of those days where I could incorporate all of the pieces of the puzzle of my career. So I could bring in my coaching, I could bring in my acting, I could bring in my speaking. I also met somebody on that day that I later interviewed for my podcast. And so I just want to remind you today that we don't have to overcomplicate it. It doesn't have to be confusing, or rather it doesn't get to be confusing. We can bring in clarity and really own the fact that we want to do all of these things. Also, it's okay to do more than one of these things, because sometimes we need to. I realized that really early on as an actor, that the whole part of being a successful actor, and very much being still part of my income pie today, is that I had to find ways that I was going to be ready for the opportunity. I needed to make sure that feeling good and feeling energized and being able to bring all the things at a last minute notice was really important. And I also knew that that was going to be to do with my work. So if I was like, I did 2 days, I think I actually only did one day selling photo shoots on Oxford Street, and it just felt, it felt awful. It was a terrible job. And I just thought, if I had to do that standing in the rain, it would just not make me feel good, and it would have an impact on my acting. And so I'm so glad that I found so many things that create income for me that I absolutely love as well. And so I can create this robust income pie. I hope that has been useful. If you want some clarity, if you want some direction with that portfolio career, making it make sense on the internet, and sometimes just in your body, in your being, when you're going out and talking to people, like, so what do you do then? Finding ways that you can feel really confident in saying that, rather than shying away and going, oh, well, I sort of do lots of things, really. You want to bring that certainty and that confidence into the room, because you never know who might just need your services. Send me a message. Let me know what you need help with. Let me know what you do. And let's look at ways that we can pull them all together in some beautiful golden threads. Lots of love. I'll see you very soon. Bye.